guys, and welcome back to my channel. For those of you that don't know, my name is Coco X Chella, or Toya, as I'm probably sure you saw in my intro video with my partner Ryan. Yeah, today I wanted to get into a topic that has been weighing on my mind for a very long time, and it is this common misconception about being black and being alternative. So basically, for those of you that don't know alternative, how to describe it? Basically, anything that is different from the norms. So, as you can see, this is not a regular mainstream attire or look or vibe, so this is like the alternative. The flip side, the other side, is basically what alternative is. Oh gosh, I'm getting all kinds of stuff stuck to my lipstick. I figured out or realised I was alternative, I would say maybe about 14, 15, and it could be a little bit sooner because I've always liked Linkin Park, but I would say like I was certain was when I was about 14, 15, and I got into like Bullet for My Valentine and Bring Me the Horizon, all them bands there. Reminds me of my emo days. So basically I started off as an emo, and then I went into scene kid, or scene queen as some people used to call me. I'm sure a few of you guys have actually seen my how to do scene hair video. So yeah, that was where it started for me. I'm gonna like insert some pictures so you guys can, you guys can share the embarrassment with me. Well, you guys will get secondhand embarrassment and I'll get firsthand. So I want to show you guys some pictures of what I used to look like when I was younger. Don't know where I'm going to put it on the screen. I might just put it everywhere so you guys can get a vibe of, what I used to be like when I was younger. You know that point in your life where your parents are like, it's a phase. I'm 28 now. It's not a phase. So where I'm from in the UK, we basically have a term for black people that don't act stereotypically black, and it is called a coconut or a bounty, which is basically, I don't know if anyone's had a bounty outside of UK. I don't know if this is just like a UK chocolate bar, but a bounty is chocolate on the outside and white on the inside because it's coconut flavoured. So coconut's brown on the outside, white on the inside, or Oreo. It is basically the same thing. So I've been called this for the majority of my life, mostly by like friends, family, random people always considered me this way inclined, and that is why I wanted to do a video on this, because I just want to shed some light on the fact that alternative or gothic vibe isn't necessarily just a white thing. Because I listen to rock music, people consider that for white people, but it wasn't until I got older and I did research into the topic that I actually found out there was a lot of black influences. And I believe that if black people knew this, they wouldn't associate it with just being a white genre or for white people, because I often have my blackness questioned because I listen to this type of music, and it's like, well, I'm pretty sure if you next to me who listens to rap, well, I also listen to rap, but you're still gonna get racial slurs, as will I, because guess what, we're both black. So I don't get why, blackness gets questioned in this manner. It's quite funny when people say that rock music is mostly for white people, because it goes to show that people don't know the history of rock and actually who created it. And it was actually started by a queer black woman called Sister Rosetta Tharpe. And I really hope I'm pronouncing her last name correctly. I'm horrific at pronouncing names. If it's different, please let me know so I can actually live my life making sure that I am putting the respect on her name that she deserves. But Sister Rosetta, she started rock and roll, and I'll insert some pictures. Look at her just looking freaking badass with her guitar. So we need to stop assuming and associating rock music with white people, because with most music genres, it comes from black people. There are many famous black and mixed heritage musicians out there like Slash and Jimi Hendrix, Chuck Berry, Alexis Brown from Straight Line Stitch. Like, there's so many, even punk culture, there are so many black women that are a part of this genre. So I don't get why there's such a misunderstanding and a misconception around who should and who shouldn't listen to rock music. I've sat down and I thought to myself, like, where has this come from? Like, you look at rock music today, and granted, the majority of people that are in bands and basically are everywhere in rock music are white people. And I thought, where has this come from? If this was pioneered and started and created from, jazz and blues, how has it become mostly white? It came back to me with the whole Elvis stuff. Now, back then, this was pre-civil rights America. A lot of black creators and artists couldn't get anywhere because they were mostly ignored by, white America, white audiences. So I feel like this could be a huge factor as to why it's mostly a white genre now. As we know that Elvis had many influences from pop to other black artists from, gospel and blues. Many might believe that this could be why, black people were pushed out of this genre, because Elvis, he was white and he was marketable, is why he could be seen as the king of rock and roll. There's some people out there that say that if Chuck Berry had been white, he would have been the king of rock and roll. Don't shoot the messenger, I'm just reading people's opinions. But I'd love to know what you guys think. Do you think Elvis was the king of rock and roll, or do you think he was an appropriator? Do you think Chuck Berry should have been the king of rock and roll, or had he been white, would he have been? Would he have given Elvis a run for his money? I'd love to know what you guys think in the comment section, so drop down your opinions below. And that's just one example of how black people have been pushed out of a genre. Think about ska music. A lot of skinheads. Before we get into this, I want to say I don't think all skinheads are racist, but there was a small corner of twats, let's just say that, there was a small corner of twats that were racist, and I always find it confusing. How can you be racist when the music that you're listening to comes from black culture, it comes from reggae? But then it was, in a sense, whitewashed to have white artists. So it's this could be where this misconception about black people listening to rock music or listening to anything other than rap or gospel or hip hop comes from, because it was a genre that essentially, to some, may believe that we were pushed out of. There's many aspects a part of the alternative aesthetic that could be considered whitewash, like piercings, modifications. These sorts of things came from African culture or from Indians. It comes from people of colour. For example, nose piercings. They didn't reach the West until between the 1960s and 1970s. They were taken up by the punk movement as a form of non-conformity in the 70s. So this goes to show even just piercings alone, it comes from people of colour, and piercings can be seen to date back to ancient Egyptians. So I know there's a big debate about what race Egyptians were, but it goes to show that a lot of the music, the look, the aesthetic all comes from people of colour. So how it's managed to get to 2021 and we still feel like black people or people of colour can't be a part of this genre is just outstanding to me. It's the same for tongue and lip piercings. That comes from African cultures. In some tribes it was seen as a marriage ritual. Even ear stretchers like I've got now, they come from African cultures. I'm going to put a ton of pictures so you guys can see this stuff, this aesthetic look, it comes from people of colour. And I just want to reiterate that quite strongly, because I'm honestly tired of people believing that the way I look or the way other black people look in this aesthetic, it wasn't meant for us, or it's only for white people, when we have so many ties to this culture, to this look. It comes from literally our culture or people of colour. So we really need to get this narrative out there that looking this way and looking weird to some or spooky to some really has come from black culture. It's sad to see gothic pages or alternative pages. It's mostly white women being shared, and then when you share one black person, they're met with racism. I've had it before countless times. I'll get shared on a gothic page and I'll be met with horrific racist comments saying that I should not be on here because I'm not gothic, or it doesn't belong to black people, I should be listening to rap and twerking and listening to Nicki Minaj. Hey, I can do all those things, darling. I can do all those things and still look as badass and gothic as I do. So let's not get it twisted, okay? Let's not get confused around here. I can do it all. To be told by racist people that we shouldn't be a part of this, and it's do you even know? You don't even know that half this stuff comes from people of colour. So you're telling me I shouldn't be a part of something that comes from my people? Doesn't make sense, does it? Doesn't make sense. Like, I literally had racist abuse from someone because I was wearing a kiss top. Like, I was wearing a kiss top and I got called all kinds of N-words and an ugly version of Nicki Minaj. And it's like, dude, if you even realise the origin of rock, you shouldn't even have the audacity to say that to me. If anything, I should be saying you shouldn't be a part of it because you're racist. Racists have no part in alternative culture, gothic culture, none of that, because it's about non-conforming and not being, you know, your stereotypical person. So to be a racist within this type of culture or aesthetic doesn't make sense because it's all about rebelling. So how can you rebel against someone who's going against their stereotype? So the logic just isn't there for me. And because of this misconception, often when it comes to like modelling, like I've spoken about in my previous videos, or you might have me on Instagram spoken about it, when it comes to like modelling and the alternative industry, people believe this is white girls with tattoos or white girls with piercings and modifications. So I've obviously been met with a lot of, you know, racism from modelling, from like designers, from photographers, and people really just need to take a step back and realise what they're saying and how they're coming across and what they perceive to be real. Like, just because this has been your reality doesn't mean that it is actually the reality, and it's okay to, you know, step back and learn and realise that things aren't actually how you thought it was. It's okay to like learn something different, like I have. Like, I grew up thinking that this was a white thing because people had told me, but since I've done my own research, I've actually come to realise it actually isn't, and it never was. And we need to understand that black people, we're not a monolith. We all have our own thoughts and opinions. It's okay to like rap, it's okay to like grime, it's okay to like drill music, it's okay to like rock, metal, you know? We're not just one big group moving the same, we're not just one entity just moving through the world, you know? So this is a misconception that's in all races. Like, even within the black community, we believe that if we're not this way inclined, then we're not black. And that's why I named the video, I Wish I Was White. Because that's what people think. People look at me and think, oh, she wants to be white. But you don't know your history. You don't know where half this look comes from. And it's funny, like, you can literally put these clothes on and your blackness will be stripped away from you. But you'll have black people in the community, like, they'll see a white person do something, like, minor. Like, they'll see a white person in the corner go, ugh. And it'd be like, so what? Because that white person hit the dap, they're invited to the cookout. Like, I'm honestly tired of the whole invited to the cookout thing, because someone that looks like me or has my same aesthetic will be stripped of our blackness so quickly, and they'll give it to someone who's hitting the dab or something. And it's like, you know, white people have to do the bare minimum to be accepted into our culture, but something that comes from our roots, our heritage, our culture as well, we have to fight to get in if it's a majority white aesthetic. Am I making sense with that? So it's like, why are we so open to people doing like the most minor thing, whilst people like metalheads and black goths, we have to do the absolute most to even be considered or respected within an aesthetic that we have roots in. And we honestly need to stop relying on TVs and movies to depict what black people are like, because as we already know, they love to show dark-skinned black women as angry and aggressive. They don't show us in a feminine and innocent and vulnerable side. They just show us as big angry aggressors every single time. And it's like, we can't keep relying on these types of things to show us what black people are like or what black people are supposed to be like, because if that is the case, then I'm clearly getting it wrong somewhere. The reason why I got into like modelling and influencing is because I believe it's very important. Just like in, you know, TV films and music, it's important for representation. I believe it's important for representation within the alternative, gothic, punk, cosplay. I think it's just important that there's representation for the younger generations. Like, I'm a big woman now, I'm 28. For those that are just looking at branching out and figuring out who they are, like 14 and 15 year olds, you know, how young I was when I figured out I was goth or alternative. I want them to look and see, oh, there's a black girl there. she looks like me, she's the same skin tone as me, she's this way inclined, it doesn't mean it's a white thing, I can do it. That's what I want, because I didn't have it. I want to be that person for youngers that I wish I had. But yeah, that's all I really want to say. I just want to end this video with a few shout outs to some like badass alternative people. The lovely Coco Kink, I'm going to put the links below. So Coco Kink, I absolutely love her, badass. Miss Leah, Luna, Lucuna, Baby Succubus, Glam Goth, Sun Gypsy, Roxy Vail, all you guys, badass. There's so many of you, I can't sit here and list everyone, but I follow so many badass alternative people. Also check out my black alternative TikTok video, it's a couple of videos back. There's some more amazing beauties in there as well. Wrap up the video with that. So I just want to say, lastly, just to round things off, like, it is okay to be black and alternative. It is okay to be black and goth. Like, it doesn't mean you're trying to be white. It doesn't mean that you hate yourself. It doesn't mean that you're an Oreo or you're a coconut, because at the end of the day, from what I've just summarised, a lot of this look, the music, the vibe, everything comes from people of colour, and most importantly, was created by a black woman. Anyway guys, I'll see you in my next video. Hopefully it should be the following Wednesday. I'll upload videos every Wednesday at 9. Well, I'm trying to anyway, and so far, so good. So yeah, hopefully you've got some more videos with the male coming soon as well. And yeah, hope why can't I speak at the end of the videos? I think my mouth is just dry. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Stay safe from Miss Rona. She's still knocking about. So yeah, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe, and I'll see you all in my next video. Bye guys.